a lot of songwriters will tell me, don't force it, wait for the muse. But there's not a novelist in the world that would say that. Like, no novelist is going to say, yeah, every novelist says, button the seat, whether it's write 500 words or 2 hours. Like, no novelist has ever said, yeah, just wait till the muse strikes. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. But that's funny. I've never thought about that, but that's weird how those two disciplines are so different in how they approach it.
Yeah. I mean, I think even because even for me, like the music part, the music part and the lyrics part are kind of separate, or it's like I always pretty much always write music first. And so even with lyrics, I used to end up with 15 unfinished songs, and with that, and then I'd have to sit down and write lyrics for all of them. And I've stopped doing that. Like, I've started just like forcing myself to I can't move on to the next song until I've finished the one I'm working on. And I end up with I think I've kind of loosened my um whatever my the I used to, I think, be more precious about the lyrics that I wrote, and kind of just labor over it more. And recently I've kind of been more into stream of consciousness, just again, just to get something out, just have something to sing, and maybe you'll come back to it later. And a lot of times I'll be like, these are just placeholders, and sometimes they are, and sometimes it's just pretty silly bad stuff, but usually I don't know, it's I still won't, I don't want to just sing ham and eggs or something. I don't, it's it has to have it has to be something, there has to be something there. And basically what I found is just that it's not as hard as I made it out to be to myself in the past. It's it's almost better to be more free with it, and you end up with sometimes more interesting results. I think that's what I found recently. I don't know. Recently my songwriting has become way looser, and I don't know if it's because of I feel like the pandemic kind of reprogrammed how I approach music, because I was so like I felt very thrown for a loop by all, the fact that I can't tour anymore, or I couldn't tour for a long time. And I'm it just kind of lined up where my wife started working full time, right around then. So I mean, in many ways that was really fortunate. Financially we were okay, there's we were able to bridge it.
Yeah.
But it's just my life, everybody's life changed dramatically. And so for a while you're it's just a feeling of kind of your sense of identity is sort of called into question or something, because I'm looking at music as possibly not the way I can, my career anymore, or whatever, so to speak. But I started just write, I just wrote, I was I'm gonna make a solo record, and I just had fun just writing any type of song I wanted. I just was I didn't, my going into this record again that just came out, the whole idea was just to have fun, and not think too hard about any particular thing, and just kind of allow the ideas to flow. And that really I feel that this record was my first, my first kind of dip into that idea, that kind of those waters of just feeling free, and not trying to write in any specific way. Whereas I think in the past, I would labor over things a lot more. I would take way longer to finish songs, and for really for no reason. I feel because in the end, the quality is there. It's you have to have more faith in your own abilities, and not really. Anyway, this record I made, I feel I love it because it's to my ears, it feels kind of loose and messy and weird. But I think this batch of songs I just wrote, or I've been writing, it's it's like it's almost more focused in its looseness. Like I'm like, I know what I'm doing now in terms of like I'm writing like, I kind of set this goal for myself to write like a quote unquote like pop album. I wanted, I want like 3.5 minute songs, whatever, like verse, chorus, maybe a bridge, maybe not, like, but just have kind of traditional song structures and nothing too loose or sprawling and like and just like have and have the songs feel open and welcoming and engaging. But anyway, I don't know. I'm really excited about this batch of songs I've been writing, and it just feels, yeah, it feels like to me like they weren't labored over. They feel loose and good in a way that like, because then you can labor over it later when you're in the studio. That's when you can take the time to make sure that they're well crafted in terms of the arrangements, and it's like and even arrangements in terms of the instrumentation, but also the actual structure of the songs. Like you can always, everything's pliable, up to a certain point. But